I'll be meeting you on a daily basis at 6:30 p.m. And yes, it has been an important day today and also yesterday. Both these days have had a connection. Yesterday was the day when Prime Minister Modi came out and hinted at lockdown 4.0. And that apart, he announced a massive economic stimulus package for the entire country. We're talking about how 20 lakh crore rupees. That's the amount of economic stimulus package that has been announced by Prime Minister Modi. And he also said in his speech that the details of this very economic package to fight coronavirus will be released in the coming days. And today we had the finance minister come out and give out details about where this 20 lakh crore rupees that was announced by Prime Minister Modi will be utilized and how this very money will prove to be instrumental in ensuring that our industries, that our MSMEs, that the NBFCs and the common man is able to really stand erect and stand straight during these testing times. Well, before we get into the details, I really hope that you're doing all right, you're doing okay at your homes and you're safe. And you can, of course, share your thoughts about what Prime Minister Modi spoke yesterday. And if you've heard the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's speech that she gave today about how this 20 lakh crore rupees will be utilized, if you have any questions pertaining to that, you can certainly shoot away. But yes, I have a few details with me as to how this economic stimulus package that has been announced by Prime Minister Modi, announced by the government, will really affect you and I going forward. Now, this very economic package that was announced yesterday by the Prime Minister was something that was much awaited. And yes, companies, industries and establishments across the country have been bearing the brunt of COVID-19. And there was no sort of financial package that was announced up until now. While a few reports and a few, one way of looking at it is that it may have come too late. But again, the point really remains that better late than never. So we're talking about how 20 lakh crore rupees is such a huge amount, and it is pretty much close to 10% of the nation's GDP. So looking at the massive amount of money that we're really talking about, it will prove to be instrumental, it will prove to be pivotal in ensuring that all our establishments are able to stand straight, are able to deal with the crisis kind of situation that it is going through at this point in time. So in the next 4 to 5 minutes, we shall discuss and I shall tell you about where this 20 lakh crore rupees roughly will be utilized and how in the end it will affect the common man on the ground. Let us first start with what the outline of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's briefing. She really had 15 key measures that will go ahead and impact almost every sector of the country. Now, out of these 15 measures that have been given out by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, 6 are in fact for the MSMEs, that is the micro, small and medium enterprises. 2 are pertaining to the employment provident funds. Now, this EPF, anything pertaining to EPF is something that will be impacted by all the people on the ground, by the salaried and essentially you and I. This EPF is very instrumental when it comes to that. There's also a measure for real estate and also one important measure for power distribution companies. And there are also 3 tax-related measures which will again prove to be a boon for the common man on the ground. So let us first talk about what's in it for the MSMEs. How this 20 lakh crore rupees will be utilized by the MSMEs and how much of the 20 lakh crore rupees will be given for the MSMEs. So we're talking about how first up 3 lakh crore rupees collateral free automatic loans will be given out for all of the MSMEs. And there will also be a 12-month moratorium available till the 31st of October for all of the MSMEs. Now, this in fact will be fully credit guarantee cover for lenders, both banks and non-banking finance companies. So it will apply for banks as well as NBFCs and it will be fully credit guarantee cover. Now, there will be a subordinate debt for MSMEs, which is approximately 20,000 crore rupees. And this subordinate debt that is given out for MSMEs will, in a sense, affect or prove to be helpful for about 2 lakh MSMEs across the country. So indeed, a big boon for the MSMEs. And that apart, 10,000 crore rupees has also been set aside for the overall growth of MSMEs. Now, we've been talking about how the growth has really plummeted during the COVID-19 era. The crisis has really taken a huge toll on MSMEs. It has wrapped on the knuckles. So 10,000 crores additional stimulus for the overall growth of MSMEs has been announced. So we just spoke about how and which part of the MSMEs will be affected by this 20 lakh crore rupees economic stimulus package that has been announced. Next up, we shall get into the EPF, which is in a sense the employee provident funds. So when it comes to EPF, the EPF contribution that is, will be directly paid by the government itself, and this move is likely to provide plenty of liquidity support to the tune of around 2,500 crore rupees, and it will directly impact at least over 7 million employees across the country. We're talking about EPF once again, which will be paid by the government. That apart, statutory PF contribution. Again, this is something that we pay on a monthly basis, and this statutory PF contribution has been reduced to 10% from 12%. So 2% of deduction, that essentially means that we save more and we get to spend more. So that again adds up to the overall liquidity and ensures that the economy is up and running. That apart, PSUs will have to continue paying 12% EPF for 3 months. So the PF contribution that has been reduced to 10% from 12% does not apply for PSUs. They'll have to continue paying at the rate of 12% for the next 3 months. Now let us take a look as to how this economic package will impact the financial institutions overall. The government, in a sense, will be buying investment grade debt of non-banking finance companies, and this is to the tune of 30,000 crore rupees to in a sense go ahead and aid the housing sector. So this will ensure that the housing sector, in a sense, which has taken a very bad beating during the COVID-19 era, is afloat going forward. When it comes to the power industry, we're talking about how 90,000 crore rupees cash injection will be made, and this will be done by the Power Finance Corporation and Rural E-Electrification Corporation will be giving loans to power distribution companies, and this will be, of course, on guarantee from the respective state governments. And obviously infrastructure, we've spoken about how several buildings, several construction companies have almost borderline shut down, and whatever construction activity was underway has been halted. So a maximum extension of 6 months for committed milestones for projects is underway. So an extension is being given to ensure that companies are able to go ahead and finish or execute their projects, committed milestones for projects that are currently underway. So we're talking about a 6 months extension that has been given, and it is the government agencies that will partially release the guarantee for this cause. When it comes to real estate, which is again another sector that has taken a beating during the COVID-19 era, registration and completion date can be extended by 6 months. Again, so a leeway given when it comes to the real estate sector as well. But all of these projects that were due only after March 25th, 2020 will be applicable for this particular benefit. Let us take a look at how the 20 lakh crore rupees will impact the taxation aspect of it. The tax deducted at source, that is the TDS, for non-salaried payments, again this impacts the common man on the ground, can be reduced up to 25%, and this will directly release about 50,000 crore rupees into the economy. Again, a major boost, so to speak. And another important pointer that I have gathered is that the tax returns that have to be filed have now been deferred to November 30th, 2020. The tax audits, in fact, were supposed to be filed by the 31st of October this year, and now it stands extended. Apologies, it was supposed to be done on the September 30th, on or before the September 30th of 2020, but now it remains deferred to November 30th. So that, in a sense, again indicates that the tax returns do not have to be filed immediately, and again a saving grace, a boon for the common man. So these are the few salient features, the key takeaways of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's address, and we now have a bit of an idea as to where this 20 lakh crore rupees will be utilized by the government. It is supposed to help and assist the common man and all kinds of industries, enterprises and establishments across the country that have borne the brunt of COVID-19 pandemic. So as days go by, we will get more details as to how much more and how else will this 20 lakh crore rupees be utilized by the government and how it will impact you and I. But yes, for the day, I think this is about it. The Finance Minister has spoken, and I had a few details that I thought you'd be interested in, and one only hopes that there are better times ahead of us, but we'll get more details as and when we gather them. That's all we have for this evening. This is Adarsh signing off.